Hello and welcome back to Obinna TV Updates. It's your host Jackie Ogaga, and today I'm here with the man himself, Oga Obinna. Hi boss.
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm good.
Mimi niko fiti, kuchoka tu ba niko sawa.
Unakaa tu kuchoka.
Nimechoka, ona macho zangu. Yeah, I've been running around doing a media tour for VURUGU 2. And also just the preparations, last minute preparations, nini, the whole thing. Inakuanga sana na pressure towards the fight. And then ukishamaliza fight uko. Yeah, so on 21st nitalala. 21st mtu asijaribu kunipigia simu. Nikitoka VURUGU, kama kutakuwa na after party, tuende after party. Alafu nifike. Do you know the most interesting weird thing? Do you know 22nd is a Monday? Oh. Mimi sitakuja kazi hiyo 22nd. Mimi naona itabidi mniache nipumzike bana. It just hit me. You know, nilikuwa kusema nataka nilale for 1 week, nikakumbuka alafu Wednesday ni riba. I need a holiday. Anybody out there who is looking to adopt a big baby? I don't need too much, just a holiday, maybe jacuzzi, you know, hot tub, massage, spa, you know, good food, out of the country, preferably Rwanda. I haven't been to Rwanda, so at least cheza na budget kidogo. Rwanda kwenda kurudi 50k. So basically ukiwa na budget ya 200k unaweza nipeleka Rwanda na unirudishe. I will really, anybody? Yeah. Damn. Okay. That is how I am. Yeah.
Speaking of VURUGU 2, we've seen a lot in the social media, to be precise. We've seen Majembe going around doing interviews, and in his interviews, he's been saying that you wanted to use him, kinda. And also we've seen him with some bloggers, the likes of Kina Joffrey, Mosiria. Maybe what do you think about this whole thing?
Umeanzia juu, si ungeanza hata stories zingine, you know, how's the new song doing, unaanza tu you normally save. But well, what do I think of?
Yeah, the whole thing, like you wanted to use them and stuff.
Okay. I think a lot of things. And also the part of him going around doing interviews, it is within his right. It is okay. However, it is not a very good move for him. Why? Because at the moment, the mention of Obinna's name, you'll get views, you'll get whatever. And especially if it's negative news sells. So at the moment, he'll get interviewed by everybody, by the relevant to the relevant to the irrelevant. Everybody will want to call him and give him sema ati Obinna alifanya nini. They'll not even sit down and wait to verify whatever. And why, hiyo ni mbaya sana, amefanya vibaya, you know, how dare he and everything. And that is the maximum they will do. Nobody will put him in a ring to fight Mbavu or fight any other person. You know, none of them will. All of them will sympathize like Kenyans they do. And I really do hope that in everything that is happening, we have a Kenyan somewhere who will decide and put him on a ring and pay him $1 million shillings or even more, at least for his career, because him is a boxer. Majembe is not a dancer. Majembe is not a comedian. Is not a DJ. He is a boxer. So how does Majembe make money in the ring? And from the recent interviews that are happening, they are changing his brand to a very different brand, because you see the conversation is about money. And from what I've seen in the whole conversation is about, how would you get a percentage of the money? But it's someone who has brought money to you. So if I bring money to you, and I can't take the agency commission, like it could have been an issue even if, for example, if I wanted 50-50. But I'm like, okay, we'll just take 20% of whatever money we're bringing your way, and you don't want that. So, you know, other boxing promoters are watching. And they're like, ooh, okay. So you'll find that there are two ways it will turn out. One, either no boxing promoter will touch you with a 10-foot pole. because you're a hot brand. They're like, huyu atanifanyia mambo, huyu ataenda kwa blogs, atafanya whatever, because that's their business. That's where they make their money. The other way it can turn out is the underdog always wins. At the moment, he's the underdog. Oh, Obinna, how could Obinna? No. So people forget everything that happened. People forget where I found him, how he was when I interviewed him, the value I added to his brand and to his financial space and everything. And they look at what they assume is happening now. And they'll go like, okay, mi naona tukuje pamoja tuweke game, which can be a very good thing for him and for his business. But now you know that is not sustainable, because Kenyans will feel pity for you once. Wakisha kuchangia wakasema haya, sasa itakuwa zile wewe tulikuchangia pesa zetu tena ukakuwa zile za you get. So either of them can happen, and I think it was not a very smart move. Now he already did the first one, which is okay. Now you go doing a bunch of them. Like I was doing a media tour, and I'm going to radio station, I'm being asked the same question, man. Tumeona history ya Majembe. I'm just like, now again, do I walk out of this interview? I'm like, if I walk out again, Obinna, rude, why would you? So you just have to talk about it. But why are we talking about it? It is a very small thing that we've made it big, and all of a sudden it is I'm just like, yeah, but isonge ikuja vile imekuja. Yeah.
Okay, you've mentioned the fact that the underdog always win. We've seen stones being thrown at you, and there's something that people have measured on, including Majembe's wife, that Oga Obinna on camera and Oga Obinna off camera are exactly two different people. What do you think about that?
There's nothing really to think. I don't fight with women. And this is a woman who's insulting me with my data. You insulted me with Wi-Fi that I've paid for. You insulted me inside a house that I've made you be in. You insulting me probably wearing clothes that the money that I brought to your husband is what has clothed you with. So what are we arguing about? It's not... Her saying Obinna in front of the camera is the Obinna behind the camera. I think I've met her once or twice. I'm not even sure even if we've engaged really. So she does not have the moral authority to say who I am and who I'm not. And also, people sell different stories to fit their narrative. So it is still okay. For the other ones who've met me, no. The ones who have not met me, it is still fine. It does not change who I am and what I stand for. Their perspective is still fine. Yeah.
I want to go through, of course, Majembe's statement. I don't know if you have the time. Maybe for you to answer some 1, 2, 3, the areas of their concern. So statement from Team Majembe. We want to set the record straight about why we did not sign the VURUGU 2 contract. This is not about being ungrateful or demanding more. It is about fairness and protecting Majembe's brand and future. So the first thing was about the agency fee. They said the promoter wanted to take 20% of Majembe's prize money as an agency fee, but a promoter and an agent are not the same. A promoter earns from ticket, sponsorship, and broadcast right. An agent earns a commission for connecting the fighter to opportunities. One person cannot be both and then deduct from the fighter's purse. Imagine if the government of Kenya paid a civil servant 30,000 shillings, then deducted 10,000 just for employing them. This is what this clause looked like. Obinna taking 20% for connecting us with the promoter, who is he himself.
Ulikuwa mpaka nayo. Aya. The promoter wanted to take 20% of Majembe prize money as an agency fee. Promoter and an agent are not the same. A promoter earns from tickets, sponsorships, and broadcast rights. Okay? An agent earns a commission for connecting the fighter to opportunities. Who connected who to which opportunity? I did. Okay? Who organized the match? I did. Okay? Yeah. One person cannot be both. According to who? Is it you understand? Ignorance is not a defense in the court of law. It's according to your understanding. One person cannot be both. Why? Then it is not one person. Obinna TV Studios is a limited company. Oga Obinna is a very different person. I am not my company. I'm independent of. So whatever Oga Obinna wishes, Obinna TV Studios sits down now and it has to make business sense. There's an example they've used here and said, imagine if the government Kenya paid civil servant 30,000 shillings, then deducted 10,000 just for employing them. It happens. It is called tax. Are we living under a rock? Are teachers deducted money by the government? Are policemen deducted money? Are the military deducted money? It's called ignorance. It exactly what happens. You're paid a job, there's tax, there's payee, there's which other one? There is SHA, there is housing levy. Let's not be ignorant about factual things. The issue here for this agency fee is usishike pesa yetu. That is the problem that they are not telling people. And I'm like, pesa yenyu na nani? Okay, before I brought this money, did you have it? In fact, for this VURUGU 2, Majembe is not the main card. The main card is Gachagua and Phil. We have Aroboy and Shakib. We have Fatuma Zarika and the Tanzanian lady. And then we have all the other fighters. Now, the biggest money on this one, which is 1,500,000 for the loser, I've put in Gachagua and Phil's fight. All the other undercards, if you win, you're being given 100,000. If you lose, you're being given 50,000. Which in this one is where Majembe belonged. He's not the main card. But I looked, I'm like, man, this guy is a champion. Aliwinili ya kwanza. Let me come through for this guy. So I put 500,000 of my own money. And I said, Niaje, I'll put 500,000 of my own money. But now when I put it, it's still subject to the agency fee. Because when I put money in the business, it has to make sense. So Somali Box and Majembe were to fight for 500. Whoever wins gets 350, and the other guy gets, is it 150?
Yeah.
And it is subject to 20% agency fee. So that is where the problem is. Kwa nini uguze pesa yetu? I'm like, my guy, you were not even on the main card. I would have told you niaje, cheza pale kwa so moja ama 50 Gs. But I decided why? Because I was to do an independent game for both of them at BBS Mall. Then when I was doing this one, I was like, instead of having two fights, it's too expensive. Let me just put you guys together. Then also we have you on this one. Why was I putting Majembe on this one? I was sprucing him up to fight with Mbavu in December. So when VURUGU 3 is coming, Majembe was in the ring. If he won or he lost, but at least now guys have an idea of what's happening, then also guys will be talking about, hey, mazile game ilikuwa poa and whatever. Then we build the hype to December for VURUGU 3. That was a plan. That is why I put him in this one. But this VURUGU 2 is not about Majembe, it's not about Mbavu. Now that is this agency fee parts.
The second thing, image rights forever. The contract gave Obinna TV Studios worldwide rights to Majembe's image, voice, and likeness forever and for commercial purposes. Without extra compensation, we asked for a fair limit of 5 years. Think of it this way. If you record one song, you cannot give away your voice forever for free. The same principle applies to Majembe's brand. Protecting image rights is not greed, it's professionalism.
I'm trying to see if I can find the contract and we
Okay.
talk about that part for image rights. Let me see if I can find that part. Do I even have that contract? Oh, I found. Yeah, okay. Exclusivity, attire, media. Good. They've used an example of if you record a song, you cannot do what? You read that part of a song?
Think of it this way. If you record one song, you cannot give away your voice forever for free.
That is also not factual because they don't have information about that. It has happened to many people worldwide. International artists. It's called a recording deal. When you sign a deal, you guys have an agreement what happens. That is why you find there some people who don't own their masters. For example, Justin Bieber just sold his masters the other day to someone so he can recover some money because he was in debt. So it happened. So it's not that it's rocket science anyway. So that part they're talking about is under clause 6. It's called media and intellectual property rights. This is what is written in the contract. Hivi kwanza unajua nimeanza kukua mzee. All intellectual property in the ultimate arena Vurugu brand, event format, footage, content, and associated materials shall remain the exclusive property of Obinna TV Studios. Nothing in this agreement shall be construed as a transfer or assignment of any intellectual property rights to the fighter. The first paragraph. For those who would understand what this means, when you come in the ring for Vurugu to fight, who owns the rights to that? Is it you, is it me? It is the organizer and whoever owns that fight. Aya. You want this person to own the rights of you fighting in their fight for 5 years. Do you see it happening? I've worked in radio, I've worked in TV. When you work on radio, you do news or you do a program on radio and TV, you don't come back after 5 years and tell them, my contract was for 5 years. Unless that is what you guys discussed. What they mean is this. So after 5 years, if you post it on YouTube, or you post it whatever, after 5 years now, we'll be obligated to either pay them or bring it down. We don't know if this thing is going to make money in the next 5 years. It might, it may not. But the rights of this thing is owned by Obinna TV Studios. That is what it means. The part for the 5 years, I'm yet to see it if they asked for the 5 years, but it will still not happen because that's not the standard working procedure. We have shows that we do here at Obinna TV Studios. We have Riba, we have the ones you do, Obinna TV updates, whatever. After 5 years, let's say you stop working for Obinna TV Studios next week. You'll want us to bring the videos down after how long? This thing costs money to bring. It's an investment that people put. And besides the money, there's a creative investment that you put in it. By the time I came with the Vurugu idea, I brought it to life. Everything happened. Nobody knows all the demons that I was fighting on the side. You saw the glamour. Then you come and sit down and say, okay, now you know me. I want you just to own these rights for whatever. No. It was for the Vurugu fight.
The third thing is attire sponsorship. It was claimed we wanted to wear a betting company's brand. False. Our sponsor is not a betting company and does not conflict with event sponsors. The contract required that our existing sponsor enter into a separate commercial agreement with the promoter for them to appear on our attire. Around the world, fighters wear their personal sponsors' attire alongside event branding. For example, in other promotion companies, including the one we have in Kenya, Las Vegas and London, or any other part of the world, boxers enter the ring with their chosen sponsor on their gear. It is not mandatory to wear title sponsor gears since boxers are brands themselves and independent contractors who are allowed to have their own sponsors. We simply wanted to honor our existing contract, which is normal everywhere.
Another assumption. You assume those ignorance, like I've said, ignorance is not a defense. You assume those boxers, when you see them in that ring, they just appeared with those clothes. Bro, leo utawatch Manu. Sponsor Manu anakuanga? Adidas. Hautawatch msi wa Manu pale navai Puma. Because ati, unajua mimi kama, let's even use Al-Hussein ila Ronaldo. Al-Nasser. Ronaldo has how many sponsors and partners he works with? Does he wear them in the ring? Because Al-Nasser as a team, they have the sponsor for the team. And then that game, their sponsors who have paid so they can have their adverts in the game. Those are the people you see at Zile's boards in Akamkando. As come and say, I had a different agreement with another nini, so I have to dress in a certain way. Aya, let me read for you what is written in the contract.
Okay.
Clause number 5, ring attire and third-party brand licensing. Paragraph 1, promoters' branding rights. The promoter derives substantial commercial value from the visual presentation of the event, including all branding displayed on ring attire, corner equipment, and the ring environment. The promoter is responsible for all overall brand integrity for the event and has existing commercial obligations to its title sponsor and any other approved commercial partners. Accordingly, all ring attire worn by the fighter and their corner team at the event shall be subject to the promoter's prior written approval. Is English very hard to understand? Okay. Even they've also misreported. When I spoke earlier, I didn't say they wanted to wear a betting. I used it as an example. And I said, okay, now this time, so I'm not misquoted, let me say, for example, we are powered by Sportybet for VURUGU 2. Then you show up wearing Obinna bet. Does not bring conflict. Forget the betting company. We have Sportybet, who we've agreed and said, we'll do for your ring branding, for us to give them value. And also we'll brand the fighters. So you're supposed to wear a short for Sportybet or a t-shirt or the hoodie and everything. But to say me, mimi niko na Managu company fulani kutoka Kiambu, wamenisponsor, so watanishonea nguo, mimi nitakuja kama niva nguo ya Managu. So myself as the event organizer and the promoter, what am I going to tell Sportybet? Yes, I had promised that I will give you, the fighters will be branded as Sportybet, but there's this guy who has come with this Managu farm because, he had a different agreement. It doesn't work like that. If you want to wear Managu farm, organize your Managu fight in the Managu farm. But if you come on the pitch, Old Trafford, kuna hii team na hii team, main sponsor wa hii team ni hii, main sponsor wa hii team ni hii, there's no player there who's gonna wear whatever brand they're using elsewhere. Which is not rocket science. It is common knowledge and it is well written over there. And we even told them, if you really want to wear the Managu brand, come and talk to the business manager. Let's see how it makes business sense to the company. You know why? There's someone who cannot be able to pay the amount for VURUGU. But atasema, I want to be part of this VURUGU, but what do I do? Sponsor nini yawe bronze, silver, gold, platinum. We can't pay it. Let me look for Jackie Ogaga. So wacha nipige Jackie Ogaga ka 50k, then atavange pangu akingia pale kwa ring nini. You've already gotten the marketing for free by the use of proxy. So ongea na mtu wako Managu, mwambie hapana, for you to be in that ring, you have to talk to this. Then we sit down and say, okay, so you're working with Jackie. Okay, so what were you looking at? Oh, the maximum we can do is this. What we can do is this. Misinterpretation as well.
The last one, third-party platform. The contract forced Majembe to register on a tipping platform where fans could send support, but the promoter refused liability if the platform failed or misused data. Consent must be freely given, not forced. If the platform crashes, the fighter should not be left exposed without protection. We asked for this to be optional and properly reviewed. The promoter talking about the manager misadvising Majembe simply because he raised these points then makes us question his view of what misadvice is. There is no reason to act as saint in front of the camera and make others look as devils while we both know the facts.
The first part inasemaje?
The contract forced Majembe to register on a tipping platform where fans could send support.
Clause 18 of the contract. Buy Me Soda, digital fan engagement platform. 18.1 imeandikwa headline, background and purpose. Buy Me Soda, in brackets www.buymesoda.com, is a Kenyan digital fan support platform that enables creators and public figures to receive direct M-Pesa tips and support from their fans. The promoter requires all fighters participating in the event to register on the platform as part of the wider fan engagement and digital monetization strategy for Ultimate Arena VURUGU Season 2. 8.2 mandatory registration. The fighter shall create and activate a verified creator profile on the Buy Me Soda platform, www.buymesoda in brackets, not later than 7 days after signing this agreement, and in any event no later than 13th June 2026. The fighter's profile shall, number 1, be created under the fighter's public stage names. Number 2, include profile photo, and bio. Number 3, remain active and publicly accessible for a minimum period of 90 days following the event on 20th June. Okay? 18.3, profile link submission. The fighter shall provide the promoter with the full URL of their verified Buy Me Soda profile in writing by WhatsApp, email, or other written communication brackets within 24 hours of completing registration. The promoter shall include the fighter's Buy Me Soda profile link in the event promotional materials at its discretion. Okay? 18.4, fighters' earnings. All fan support and tips received by the fighter through their Buy Me Soda profile shall accrue solely to the fighter, subject to Buy Me Soda's own platform terms, fees, and M-Pesa transaction charges. The promoter makes no representation or warranty regarding the level of fan support the fighter may receive through the platform and shall have no entitlement to any portion of the funds received by the fighter through Buy Me Soda. Let me now say it in simple English. So I discovered a platform called Buy Me Soda. And Buy Me Soda are also part sponsors for VURUGU. And what does Buy Me Soda do? It is a platform where you get tipped with your fans. The advantage of Buy Me Soda app is, sioni namba yako ya simu, na uoni namba yangu ya simu, just scan QR code, so privacy is there. Tukaambia, fighters will register on this platform. You know why? Number 1, these are part of our sponsors and that's our obligation to them. Number 2, it is a way of you raising money for yourself as a tipping platform from your fans. It has nothing to do with us. So the story of saying, oh, you force us, you know, and you don't have liability. Buy Me Soda is not a product of Obinna TV Studios. What you needed to do was say, link me up with the guys for Buy Me Soda so we have a separate conversation, which we would gladly do because it's not our business. And you tell them, me, I want ABC. At the system crashing with money. Money you didn't have, 1. 2, why would it crash? I've been using Buy Me Soda on Obinna Show Live since I discovered it. Why hasn't it crashed? What I said earlier today was, I've discovered the issue between this whole Majembe thing is, number 1 is fear of unknown. Because they're like, hey, Maze, what if, say, nini. That one. Number 2 is misunderstanding and misinterpretation. You mean this for someone, they misunderstand you. They're like, hey, haizi kuwa na nitakia tu mazuri for no reason, whatever. And then the last one is ignorance. People are just ignorant about everything, and then people assume they know so much that sometimes now inapita ile level flani, and you're like, hapana unajua. I'm just like, no, I'll not ask you the question because you're my employee, so naweza kuuliza, if you were a different person, the way I've explained all of those things, has it made sense? But I can't ask you because ndio salary iendelee kukuja. Yeah, but that is basically the conflict. Like if you look at it, you're just like, number 1, I've brought money. I'm not running a church. It's not a charity. It's business. I'm taking 20% of the money I've brought. You don't want me to do that. Number 2, you want to dress the way you want to come to my fight. I'm like, no, we have to have a way to do it. You don't like that. Number 3, you assume after we do the fight, you still want to go with the rights for the fight. I'm like, no, it can't happen like that because we have to own the image rights because we're shooting it and we're streaming it. Okay? So later you don't come and sue us and say, oh, you know me, I still want. And number 3 is the platform. Oh, the Buy Me Soda platform. What if it crashes? If it crashes, see, you need to have a separate contract with the Buy Me Soda guys and tell them, okay, this and this is what is happening. What if this? And then they let you know. Ignorance.
And the also on that, they claim that instead of you explaining further to them, it's like you blocked them.
Wow. If it gets to a point that I block you, I've had it up to here. And I don't want to engage anymore. I've said this many times before. Mimi wa nikifika ile mwisho nimejaribu, I walk away. At peace. Because even when I walked away, I never made the announcement that Majembe is not in the fight. I never said anything. He's the one who did the first interview and said, I'll not be in the fight because of this and this and that. Trust me, we've had so many back and forths with Majembe and his manager, and this is not the first time. Do you know another thing that most people don't know, which probably might be an exclusive to you? I saw people saying that the fight for Majembe and Bavu was scripted. Now let me tell you guys the truth. That fight was not going to happen. They cancelled last minute.
Who?
Majembe and Bavu. What happened was this. So we prepared the fight. It was the first time I'm doing it. We overwhelmed with everything. I'm trying to get this. I'm trying to raise money. The venue, Nini, performance. I'm trying to make it happen. So we delayed to give them contracts. So when you give them the contracts, they saw the 20% commission. Wakajam. So I called them when we were doing the weigh-in. I think we were doing the weigh-in at Mass House. So I told them, when you come from there, let's go to the office. So we explain. I sat with Majembe and Mbavu. Mbavu was, I think, with his manager and his dad. Majembe was with his manager. We sat in my office downstairs here for over an hour plus. I think it was going to like 3 hours or something. Explaining to them how it works. Jama melala kwa kamera. I was explaining to them how it works. I went to a level where I opened my books for Majembe and Bavu. They can tell you if I'm lying. And their manager. Nikwambia, guys, hii ndo pesa. Hii imeenda hapa. Hii imelipa hii. Hii imelipa hii. Hii imelipa hii. Venye tumefika saisina. Na ili break even ifanye hivi, we have to deduct this for this. Nini. We explained everything. I was with my business manager in the office. Nani with his manager, and some lawyer was over there from Bavu Nini, and explained, and they didn't understand it at first. We spoke, wakauliza, they raised all the concerns. Mpaka in the end, tuka agree. Mpaka ikafika, mpaka wakasema, aya sawa, it may make sense. I left here very late, and I was running to Kasarani still. I think it was around midnight. Ran to Kasarani for the setup, nini, went back home, slept. Then the following day, I went to Kasarani at 9 a.m. I think I had this shirt. I had this shirt, didn't you? I had this shirt, and I think in the side pocket or something in Timberlands, probably. I don't remember. So I was going to see the setup, then I come and change. Getting to the gate, imeja. I got in, I couldn't come out. Did the setup, nini. Kufika kitu saa 11. I'm being told by Omosh, Majembe and Bavu wamesema they are not fighting, and they are doing a press about it. They've said you are touching their money. We discussed the previous night. I explained everything, how it works and everything. I said, wow, okay. So where are they going to do the press? At Safari Park. Why are they going to Safari Park? A friend of mine called Kevin Sonko. Aliniambia, Oga Obinna mazeni, nimeona kinafanya fiti. How do I support? So I told him, I would want Majembe na Mbavu wakiingia pale waingie Q-Star. So tusaidie na ndai zako nini, alafu tuwalipia accommodation somewhere around, so that wakitoka hapo wasitoke mbali, because I know that time I think Mbavu was homeless. Alikuwa anakimbia between Mbote, sijui wapi, au magunzi wakaanza sijui kumtafuta. So Mbavu alikuwa anatafuta place ana nini, and he was staying in Rongai. So like, instead of kutoka huko time ya fight, let's get them somewhere close. Akanambia sawa, find accommodation options. Nikaenda nikatafuta nikapata Safari Park. Niambia Safari Park wanataka hivi, akalipa. I think we paid like 40K. So wakae, watatoka hapo wakienda fight, wakirudi walala hapo mpaka the following day. Ama wangetaka wangelala hapo before, then sikia fight wako. Kevin Sonko akalipa, akanipea doni, kalipa, nikamtumia receipt kila kitu. Akanipea gari 2, akanipata G-Wagon na akanipatia e-range mpya. 2024 2025. Akanipea doa, akanambia tengeneza number plate. Nikatengeneza number plate imeandikwa Majembe, ingine imeandikwa Mbavu. Nika-explain na Majembe, nika-explain Mbavu, nikamwambia hivi ndio place mtakuwa mnalala nini, this is what nini, tuka-agree. So hawa wameenda Safari Park. Basi sasa sikulala
for the press,
kufanya pressa, kusema wafanyi fight. I was seated at the arena. I've never felt so much disappointed. I was like, wow, okay. Nikasema, okay, that's no, they're not fighting. Sawa. We'll continue with the fights that are there. I'll explain to people later, but si tutakuwa na fights. Then baadaye ama watu wakifanya press, nikamwambia it's okay, you can do the press. People will see, then I'll do, but we will continue with whatever plans because you paid for things, you paid for people. The person who saved the day was the boss for Odibets. Ndo Dedan. Then akaniambia, ubizi ni haji, nimesikia hii story nini? Nikamwambia IG ni hivi na hivi, and I explained to him this and this and this is what is happening. I put everything on the table. Akaniambia, let me go talk to them. He left Kasarani. Ni kitu kama 6-7 p.m. Ilikuwa hiyo time, si ndio? Kwa bit late sasa. He drove, akapita watu nini, he drove to Safari Park. Akakaa nao chini. Akabonga nao chini. Anabonga nao na ananicall. Maze hivi na hivi. So the mistake that they said we had done as Obinna TV Studios and as myself, we didn't communicate to them mapema. So then wakaambia mazee, sasa ni blanda yako sasa, because wewe communicate mapema, sasa itabidi tumefanya nini. So he spoke with them and they agreed, I think it was 10%. Wakasema I will just do 10% nini. Said aya, nikasema haina shida. Let's do 10%, it's fine. My bad, my mistake. Let the fight continue. So by the time Mbavu and Majembe were even coming for the fight, mimi nilikuwa nimefika hapa. Mimi nilikuwa tu zile za let the fight happen whatever, we had promised people nini na tukaendelea. So it was scripted. I was just looking at people like, I wish you knew this fight was about, but Kenyans were going to finish me that day. Like, ulituambia inafanyika then. And when this Safari Park issue was happening, we later discovered actually, shida haikuwa ni Mbavu. Mbavu alikuwa anachochwa na imbo gingine. So huyu manager wa Majembe na Majembe na hiyo team. Majembe hata by the hata ana information mingi sana. So unaona hata kwa interviews yana roll tu nywele ako tu zile alafu whatever. So probably ni demi yake na umse, but back then hata ikuwa demi yake. But probably sasa nimeona ameanza kutrend na jina langu online, but it's okay. So huyu manager yake ndo alikuwa anamchuako. Akishamchuako wanachuako Mbavu. Because even when Nani sat down with them to discuss, aka realize, because alikana wawili, akasema kila mtu atoke. The boss for debates, Dedan. Alisema kila mse atoke, akaka chini na Mbavu na Majembe, akauliza mnatakaje. Aka realize there's no even issue. So these are the external parties. Because even tukiwa hapa chini, hiyo crew ilikuwa nayo Mbavu hata kwa zile za, yeye alikuwa anaambiwa tu, tufanye nini? Because hata buda ya Mbavu na mama ya Mbavu niliwamit even before, even when I was giving them advance of their money tukiwa samaki. Mama Mbavu was very grateful. Asante sana, ikonyo uoda nini. Even baba Mbavu akakuja mpaka hapa na Mbavu hiyo siku, asante sana nini. So later I discovered that the person mwenye alikuwa na chocha Mbavu ni hii crew. So anamwambia tufanye hivi. Hata hiyo time akisema we are not going to fight, Mbavu ni kama alijua last minute, akasema okay sawa, because we're in solidarity then we're fighting. And even the person who really sold the first fight was Mbavu. If we are rating the influence of VURUGU 1 out of 10 for both of them, Majembe's influence was 3. Mbavu was 10 over 10. Mbavu kept on posting, doing whatever. Even right now, what is trending? Hello. You just say hello. And then you say nimejangori. People automatically know who you are talking about. Who has gotten so many consistent brands since then? It is Mbavu. And that is why when I look down and say, oh, you didn't explain to us this thing, I'm like, we did. And we know what the problem is. And then also for the guys out there assuming, oh, VURUGU, Majembe has to be. VURUGU is not Majembe. VURUGU is not Mbavu. VURUGU is not me. VURUGU is VURUGU. It's an arena. It's the ultimate arena that respect is earned and lives are changed. It is a very independent thing that has to happen with or without Mbavu or Majembe, so that other people also have that hope. VURUGU is supposed to symbolize hope. It's not about these two people. You get? And that is what most people are missing. So everything happened, and Miles was talking with the manager, and vitu zikachemuka and lines were drawn in the sand. I've said all of this to say it's not the first time we're having that conversation. And I saw Majembe's manager say that we've been forcing Majembe. I don't even talk to Majembe. My manager Miles was talking to Majembe's manager on WhatsApp. Oh, kwa wapi, sijui nimeenda matanga, sijui nimefanya nini. The only time I spoke with Majembe was after they were sent the contract, wakakuwa nayo back and forth na Miles, then wakatuma about their demands. It was not even at subject to discussion by the way they're pretending it was. No. It was, this is what we want. We want the agency fee removed. We want this and this. Wacha nikusomee what they sent. This is what was sent. And so this is what I sent Majembe. I'll also read for you what I wrote for Majembe. So what they wrote was, I'll just read the clauses. Kwanza waka address Mr. Steve Thompson Magana. Okay, which is the wrong person to address. It is Obinna TV Studios. Fighter participation agreement, Ultimate Vurugu season 2, about Majembe for Somali boxers did this and this and this. So clause 1 ilikuwa agency administration fee 20% deduction. Wameanza kusema we raise serious objection to the characterization and imposition of 20% agency administration fee deducted from our client's gross prize money by Obinna TV Studios in its capacity as a promoter. We raise serious objections. Let me move to the second clause. It's a bit long. Clause 2, ring attire and third-party brand licensings. Okay. We draw the promoter's attention to the fact that we already party to a pre-existing commercial agreement with an attire sponsor. You get? So these are not, it's lines were being drawn on the sand of what we want. Clause 3. Clause number 3, clause 6.2 and 23, worldwide irrevocable, perpetual, royalty-free media and film rights. So there's that one. Clause 4, liquidated damages for confidentiality breach. The fifth one, unilateral replacement without compensation on event day. Okay. So what they wrote was, clause 2.5 grants the promoter sole and unilateral discretion to determine whether an emergency or delay by our client on event day constitutes a valid reason to replace our client on the card without any compensation whatsoever if the promoter is not satisfied. So basically nasema, kama huyu jamaa alikuwa ameblanda, there are clauses in the contract that they were supposed to abide by, including anti-doping and the likes. So wakifanya hizo blanda, promoter anaweza sema we umefanya hizo blanda usipigane. So according to them wanasema hata mtu akifanya hizo blanda huwezi sema asilipwe. It's in their wording. 6, disproportionate forfeiture for any material breach, same as the above one. Clause 7, anti-doping absence of due process protections. Okay, so they also had an issue with that one for the anti-doping one. What they said is this: clause 19.5 provides for immediate forfeiture of the full prize money and termination of the agreement upon a confirmed anti-doping violation without reference to the procedural safeguards prescribed by the World Anti-Doping Agency, that is WADA, including the rights to A, B sample analysis and formal hearing before the applicable sanctioning body. We require the amendment clarifying that any anti-doping consequence under this agreement shall be triggered only after the full applicable regulatory processes, including any appeal or B sample procedure, has been concluded and final determination made by the relevant sanctioning authority. So also this one is ignorance because this is not the part we handle. Yeah, this part is handled by Solid Rock. So I'm not a boxing promoter. So you normally outsource a boxing promotion company that they do this. Mm-hmm. So actually the hospital, the testing and everything, Solid Rock are the one that's handling, not me. Mm-hmm. So Solid Rock are the one to tell me these guys are good to fight. Because also, do you know that even if someone is HIV positive, they cannot fight boxing? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's a blood sport. So if you gongwe damu itoke then umsemina gongo unajua anaweza ambukizwa. So such things. So even the anti-doping one, it has nothing to do with us. It is hawa ndio watafanya test. Me, I don't even know where people do the anti-doping test. But now they had a problem with it with us. This is what they wrote. 8, they wrote about assumption of risk and liability waiver. So they wanted us to take the risk. Number 9, mandatory buy miss order registration. That one I've taken you through it. And in conclusion. So these are some of the things they wrote. And now, when I found this now, when wamesha back and forth nini, it was sent to me. I was like, not again. Vurugu 1 tulikuwa hapa, vurugu 2 tena tuko hapa jamani. I forwarded it to Majembe. Nikamwandikia, I have received this from your manager through my manager. I appreciate the feedback. And when we shall be able to action your sentiments on the above document, we shall get in touch. We have a standard operation procedure that we do follow as a company. And for now, we shall stick to that. Hence, for this 20th June 2026 event, we shall not be able to have you in the ring. We wish you all the best, however, asante. Nikamandikia, kindly share with your manager as well. Then chini yake nikamandikia, however, brother to brother, this one I'm chatting with Majembe, I'm texting him. However, brother to brother, in quotes, share this with your manager as well. Close the bracket. I have been in entertainment and events business for over 15 years. I have observed you and your team for a short period of time, and one thing I am 100% sure of is your current manager will cost you a lot of opportunities in the long run. Keep this message, review it whenever need arises. Then I decided to mind my business. No hard feelings. It's a professional. First nimehandle the professional bit. Then second nikakuja brother to brother. Nikamwambia maze hapa kuna hii shida hivi. Then nikaamua ku. So this issue about explain to us nini, we've had it. And we did it. Na ikafika point, this is what we want. So if we can't give you what you want and you can't do what we want, why are we having the back and forth?
Okay, as we wind up, personally, maybe you can tell us what do you think is next for you and Obinna TV Studios, and also Majembe, what do you think is next for him? And maybe you can just tell us the whole thing. How has it made you feel as Oga Obinna?
I felt very disappointed by the whole Majembe debacle, because it's a guy who had a very promising future. And I really tried to come through for him. Even the first time when we had the interview and we spoke and he told me what he was doing, where he was, then later where he's from, Nini. I was like, man, we can do something about it. And they took that and they misinterpreted it, they misunderstood it, and they already judged and crucified me. And I was just like, wow. You know, no matter what happens, I'm still Obinna. I still can't walk on the road. And no matter what happens, he's still Majembe. So, what next for Obinna TV Studios? We'll continue to create, we'll continue to experiment, we'll continue to see if we can change a few lives. And if there's going to be Vurugu 3, we'll do it. For now, we're focusing on Vurugu 2 next weekend. Hata nimeona robo ya nani Shakiba ameachwa na Zari. So, inaenda kwa fight ya heartbreak. So, Arobo aliachwa na Nadia last week, Shakiba ameachwa leo. So, mtu atakuwa kilia kwa ringu juu analia nini? Analia demi yake ama analia ngumi? Ama ngumi ni moto. Phil is coming and Gashau, we're gonna make, someone will win the money, and at least it will help him do 1, 2, 3 things. We'll have a replay of Manu Suar and Clear the Air. Mbali is coming back now with Alfayo, who, remember such a situation in Majembe we had with Alfayo in the other fight. You remember, yeah? Si mbali sana, ilikuwa tu juzi. Yeah, so we're gonna see that, and it's gonna be beautiful. We have Ruga performing, we have Calligraph, we have Cardinali, we have Kim Dick D and more spies. So as we'll continue doing that, and we are not only hoping, we are strategizing that it works out beautifully, and it will. Now, for Majembe, I wouldn't know what will happen with this life. Like I said earlier, two things can happen. One, probably nobody's gonna book him for any boxing, but what I know for sure, there's no other boxing that is going to be in that is gonna give him $1 million in one fight, unless the other example I gave happens, where underdog always wins, and we have a few sympathizers who come on board and say, okay, we want to have the great rematch that everybody has always wanted to have for Mbavu and Majembe. and they give them some good money, which will be very good, because I'm like, yo, that's what's up, because now finally he'll have money to do a few things again as he looks for the next fight. But at the moment, my matchmakers are two. I have Wex, who does Nairobi Fight Nights, which is another big platform for boxing. There are only 3 big platforms for boxing in the country at the moment. There's Nairobi Fight Nights, then there is Kalakoda. Kalakoda owner Mavo is my matchmaker. Nairobi Fight Nights, Wex is also another matchmaker of mine. And they've seen this debacle we've had, the back and forth with Majembe. Trust me, they'll sit down and go like, hey, having this guy again. But also the money that people win in Kalakoda at the moment, maybe later when now other sponsors come on board, even Nairobi Fight Nights, at the moment, it's not the VURUGU money you get. So I'm really hoping that he gets in the ring with someone, somewhere. I don't know where. But for me and for VURUGU too, I don't see it happening at the moment because of the hard lines that were drawn in the sand. So si hatutavuka huko where utavuka huku, so iko tu sawa. So it's a very tough one. However, he will watch this interview and I'll just repeat what I've said again. Your manager will cost you a lot of business and opportunities. In this business, we work with something called human currency. What does Obinna say about you in your absence? What does Majembe say about you in your absence? What does Nani say about you in your absence? And I'm not talking about the fans. I'm talking about the people who make money decisions. Someone will put you in the ring to fight. Someone will put money on you. Someone will invest in you. Someone will do whatever. Because you see, even right now, they're saying, oh, we already had another obligation with another partner. This partner could not have come on board if you're not fighting in VURUGU. Yes, you have this partner who is probably paying your gym and is dressing you and is put you on a monthly influencing gig on whatever. Why did this partner come? Because you're on VURUGU. Before you came on VURUGU, none of those partners came. You had 0 partners. You had 0 sponsors, 0 influencing gigs and everything. You are living in this other guy's house and you were still going in school and you were just hoping that things work. Then now this thing happens and I see the video and God comes through me and tells me, call this person, and you sit down and my fans, Obinna family team, changias you cash on the show. And I say, okay, I'm going to put $1 million. And from nowhere, the president puts another money and another person, and it becomes this beautiful thing. And Kenyans embrace you guys. And then Mbavu comes from nowhere. It was just God. I didn't sit down and say, now I'm looking for Mbavu. No, I didn't even know Mbavu existed. But when you said we are doing this fight, and someone just went and carried some mitungis and he said, hello. And it just took it was God working. And God works, and things happen, and your life changes. And all of a sudden, you have something around 6 million. Because if you look at the car, by the way, I had sold the car as well. And you look at the value of the car, you look at the money you got, the cash price, and then from there automatically you are not using a Katululu anymore. You have iPhone 17 Pro Max, you have a Tecno Camon 50, you have this money from Tecno Camon 50, you have whatever, guys are calling you have this other person who's paying your gym, someone wants to be associated with you. Why is that happening? Most people forget that it's because of your association with brand Obinna. But all of a sudden, Obinna is pretends in the public but you're forgetting who was God using for this. And now this guy is very useless. A similar story happened in the Bible. When the Israelites were leaving Egypt, and they were really being tortured in Egypt, then Moses was sent with the brother Aaron. And they came, and after doing all those miracles, Pharaoh akasema, aya, chukua watu wenyu kwenda. The guys like, tumefurahia, tumetoka. And then they went to the wilderness. Then when they got somewhere in the wilderness, there was no water. The guys got thirsty. The guys turned against Moses, the same guy who got them from torture and captivity. We umetuleta hapa bwana tuteseke tukufe, we kwenda bwana we ngombe nini, whatever, all of those. And Moses turned to God and told God, maze saja, umenileta na wase maze watanimeza, maze wase wanasikia kiu, maze to do nini. Then God told him, relax. What you do, ile mawe itatoa maji. Ibongeshe tu. Nini. Then Moses akaenda mawe ikatoa maji. Then Moses did the exact same thing that the Israelites did. He forgot it's not him. Akamwambia kwendeni huko bwana, mnanisumbua nini? Si ndio hii maji nimewapea, mnaniambia nini? Kunywa maji bwana, oga nayo. Hiyo kiburi kaja. God akasema, okay. Come bro. Unaona Canaan? Si ndio tunaenda? Hautakanyaga huko. Utaiona na utakanyaga huko. Mpaka akapointiwa ndio hile Canaan, lakini haufiki mzae. You've been a very good person, you've done nini, but haufiki huko. That is the same situation that I've seen that happens with most people. Some people that I do help, and even other people that get helped by other people or assisted. We even saw the Mike Sonko story and so on and so forth. Me, I've constantly been there. The current one was with Tiger. Then before that one, there was Stupid Boy and another person. Let me not mention their names. However, when people get a little bit of a name or a brand, they forget God came through who? And that hand that fed you, you want to chop it off. That leg that walked with you, you want to. So those people that you buy shoes for will kick you with that feet. Watu utavalisha, watakufanya. Wale utalisha, wakishashiba, watakutukana. So that is what happens. And that is what is currently happening at the moment. And you look at it, you're like, where were you before? Where were you? After, where are you now? It's the same thing you've asked me about Majembe's girlfriend. And come on, man. We know where you're doing the lives before. And we know where you're doing the lives now. We've seen. And even for her, she will forget, hey, by the way, my boyfriend was this way. And now this is, So there's that complicated part. And we wait and see. Because there's a time I'd also given up to help people. And by that, I was contemplating that thing again today. I was like, do I really need this bullshit? Like, do I really need to go through this with people? Like, I would mean well for you. You would sit and do it. Then you go, then you say, I'm like. And the sad bit about it is most people who say things or do these things are people who know you. Nimejua Jackie avutangi bangi, lakini siku moja tu tuka chini kwa zile za Jackie mbele ya kamera nini, but anawakisha kindukulu nini, and just look at that. So that is where we are. Human beings are very ungrateful. And today I was asked a quick fire at TV47 when I was leaving. They asked me, with some content creator there, she asked me, what is that childhood ideology or something like that, childhood ideology that I had and I still entertain? And my answer was that human beings are good people. I used to assume like that as a child. And I still assumed it. And anytime I assume it, kinarudi tu kuniramba. Halo.
Tukaribishe vurugu tu.
Everybody is welcome. This one is bigger. We have about 28 fighters. We had 26, but now we've also added 2 paraboxers, so it's 28. The first one we had 16 fighters, so those were 8 fights. This one we have 14 different fights. So the fight card is full, imechrome hivi. Kutakuwa na vibe gates inafunguka mapema, kuna red carpet, Jackie Ogaga, Trudy Kitui na Tony Murigi wakapo kwa red carpet. So ukiingia hapo ndo meet nini, ma interview, maswali 1-2. If you want to meet her, hiyo ndo siku. Na pia ukuje kama umevaa vizuri, because we might be having Johnny Adressa. Johnny Adressa might be kwa hiyo red carpet na atawatoanisha vibaya sana mkikuja mevaa vile mnataka. On the performance, Calligraph Jones, of course, OG has to be respected. Wakardinali wame come through. We have also Ruga, all the way from Nigeria. Ruga wakayole. Bro, we don't do that over here. Man's international. All right? And on the DJs, we have Double Trouble. We have DJ P Scratch. And of course, we have Kim Nick D and Mo Spice. Chukua ticket yako mapema, ticketraha.com. By mid next week, hata historia ticket will not be having it. And then utakuja hapo kwa gate useme, there are no tickets at the gate. Trust me, there are no tickets at the gate whatsoever. Fighting card, Arrowboy anapigana na Shakib. We have Fatuma Zarika with a Tanzanian lady. I've forgotten her name, sorry. And then the main fight, we have Gashau and of course Phil. Phil, Gashau alichukwanga Demia Phil, sindio? Yeah, Gashau alichukwanga Demia Phil. Sasa Phil anarudi revenge. mambo ni mwecheche. I'm gonna see you guys at Vurugu 2 Sarit Center on 20th of June.
Thank you so much for your time, guys. That has been one-on-one with Oga Obinna. Till next time, bye bye.